You're back at your desk. It's Tuesday, 9 days after the vacation ended. You did everything right. You actually unplugged this time, and you came home lighter, clearer, more yourself than you felt in months. And then the first full week back hit. And now it's Tuesday, and the jaw is set, and the shoulders are up, and there's a voice in the back of your head that never really stopped. If you've been here before, if you've done the rest and watched it wear off, you already know the frustration. The break worked. You know it worked. So why are you right back where you started? The reality is, burnout doesn't keep coming back because you're not resting right. It comes back because your nervous system has a set point, a baseline it treats as home. And if that baseline hasn't changed, the rest will always be temporary. There's a name for what's happening here, and once you understand it, the cycle stops feeling like it's your fault. Before I explain where that set point is coming from, I want you to do something with me right now. Not to feel better in 60 seconds, but to feel what's actually there. This is the whole practice, and it takes about a minute. Check your jaw. Don't fix it yet. Just check it. Are your back teeth touching right now? Is the tension right here in the hinge underneath your ears? Most people don't know until they look. Now check your belly. Are you holding it braced, like you picked something up or forgot to put it down? Now let both go. Jaw drops one notch. Back teeth separate just a little. Belly softens, and take one breath into the belly, not up into your shoulders. Just feel that belly rise first. And say this out loud, not in your head. This is what lower looks like. Not better, not fixed, just lower than wherever you were 60 seconds ago. Hold on to what you just found, the jaw, the belly, the brace, because that's tension. That isn't today's reaction. That's your baseline. That's what your nervous system has decided normal feels like. And that's exactly what we need to talk about. 30 years of working with entrepreneurs as a counselor and coach, this is a pattern I encounter more than almost any other. Not the burnout itself, but the cycle, the recovery that holds for a week and then quietly unravels. What you're experiencing has a name and a mechanism. And once you understand the mechanism, the cycle stops being a mystery. Here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system doesn't just react to stress in a moment. It maintains a baseline, a resting level of activation it treats as normal. That baseline is your stress set point, and it shifts slowly based on patterns, not with single events. Think about your home thermostat. It doesn't just respond to temperature, it maintains it. You set it to 72, and someone cracks a window, the room drops to 68, and the furnace kicks on. Not because anything is wrong, because 72 is the setting, and its job is to keep the room there. Your nervous system works exactly the same way. When you've been running at high stress for 10, 15, 20 years, the thermostat gets set high, not because you chose it, because chronic activation is what your system learned to treat as normal. High is home. And one marker of this you can actually measure is cortisol, your primary stress hormone. In a regulated nervous system, cortisol rises in the morning to get you moving and tapers off throughout the day. But in chronically activated nervous systems, the resting cortisol level stays elevated, which means even on an ordinary day, no fires, no crises, nothing especially wrong, your body is already running at a level most people only hit under genuine pressure. The set point is high, and it shows up in the blood work. So when you take the vacation, the room cools. The relief is completely real. But when you come back, the nervous system, like the furnace, quietly kicks on. Not because you failed at recovery, because the thermostat didn't change. The room always returns to the setting. That's the burnout cycle. Not a character flaw, not a discipline problem, a thermostat that nobody ever showed you how to adjust. And the reality is, most people never hear this. So they spend years chasing longer breaks, wondering why the relief never holds. The relief is real, but the relief and the recovery are not the same thing. Relief cools the room. Recovery changes the setting. I'd like to talk to you about Michael, who is 54. He's a composite picture of many people I work with. He built a regional logistics company over 22 years, the kind of business that runs on his judgment, his relationships, his ability to stay sharp under pressure. By the time he came to me, he'd done everything books recommend. 3 vacations in 2 years, including one where he left his laptop at home. A sleep specialist, a meditation app he used for 11 days. His wife had started calling the pattern the bounce back, that quiet, reliable slide from rested back to ragged that happened within 10 days of every break. What he said to me in our 3rd session was this: I've stopped believing I can actually recover. I think this is just what my life is now. I want you to hear that, not as resignation, but as a reasonable conclusion from years of evidence. Every break wore off, every reset back. Of course he stopped believing recovery was possible. His experience told him it wasn't. What Michael didn't know, what nobody had told him, was that he'd been cooling the room every time, very effectively. What he had never done was touch the thermostat, not because he wasn't trying, but because nobody had shown him it was actually the problem. If Michael's story sounds familiar, if you've been doing the rest and watching it wear off, I built a free 7-day resource for exactly this. It's called the Calm in 7 Challenge. One small practice a day built around shifting a set point rather than managing the symptoms. The link is in the description below. Here's what actually changes the thermostat setting. Not a longer vacation, not a different supplement. It's a pattern, specifically a daily pattern of stepping below your current activation level and staying there long enough for your nervous system to take notes. I call this the baseline check. Here's exactly how it works and why the specific details matter. Once a day, same time if you can manage it, because the nervous system learns from repetition. You stop. Not to accomplish something, not to relax as a reward for finishing, to give your system one data point that says, lower is possible here, and lower is safe. You do what you did at the top of this video. Check the jaw, check the belly, and don't rush to fix it. Just notice where you are. Then let the jaw drop 1 notch. Let the belly soften, and take 1 breath where the belly rises before the chest does. And say out loud, this is what lower looks like. 60 seconds, that is the whole practice. 3 things about this that matter more than the 60 seconds themselves. First, same time each day. Transition moments work best. The end of a work block, the moment before dinner, the quiet minute after you walk in the door. The nervous system learns from patterns, and patterns stick when they're attached to something that already happens. Second, say the phrase out loud. This is what lower looks like. Your nervous system responds to your own voice differently than internal thought. Saying it is a signal. Thinking it is a reminder. They're not the same thing. Third, and this is the piece that most people miss, do it on ordinary days, not just when you're depleted, not just when the bounce back has already started, because what you're doing here isn't crisis management. You're showing the nervous system what your average day actually looks like. Repeat it enough times that it starts adjusting accordingly. The ordinary Tuesday is what moves the thermostat, not the retreat, because here's what's happening neurologically every time you do this. You're handing the system a data point. Lower happened. Nothing came of it. Lower happened again tomorrow and the day after that. And slowly, weeks, not days, the system starts to update. The furnace kicks on a little less, and the baseline edges down. Not dramatically, not overnight, but enough that the next break starts to hold a little longer, and the one after that a little longer still. Think of it as adjusting the thermostat 1 degree at a time. 1 degree barely registers. 6 weeks of 1 degree shifts, and one afternoon you realize the furnace hasn't run in hours, and you can't even say when it changed. That's what recovery that actually holds looks like. Patient, quiet, 1 degree at a time. Here's what I want to leave you with. You are not someone who can't recover. You are someone whose thermostat got set too high over too many years by work that asked everything of you. That's not a character flaw. That's a nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. You don't fix it by resting harder. You fix it by giving the system enough evidence, consistently enough, that lower is safe. One baseline check a day, 1 degree at a time, until the room holds its own temperature without you having to fight for it. If you want to start that this week, Common 7 Challenge is the place. 7 days of exactly these deposits, one a day, and it's free. The link is in the description. And in the next video, we're going to look at why so many entrepreneurs are waking up exhausted even after a full night of sleep, and what's actually happening in the body while you think you're resting. This is Dr. Sean. Make it a great day.